Your cat has chronic diarrhea. Diarrhea that's been going on for months or even years. At this point, you probably spent thousands of dollars at the vet, figuring out what is wrong with your cat and what can you do to treat it, only to find out nothing works. Today, we will share tips that work on how to stop chronic diarrhea in cats. I'm the Cat Butler, and these are my two ragdoll cats, Teemo and Arya. My cat Arya struggled with chronic diarrhea for years. We spent thousands of dollars at the vet doing blood tests, ultrasounds, fecal exams, only to have the diarrhea keep happening. But after a lot of trial and error, and countless hours studying everything I could about chronic diarrhea, I finally discovered a combination of treatments that, when used together, helped Arya overcome her chronic diarrhea. Hopefully, what I've learned will save you a lot of frustration and thousands of dollars in vet visits by helping you successfully treat chronic diarrhea. Before we talk about the possible treatments for chronic diarrhea, it's important to properly identify if your cat has chronic diarrhea or acute diarrhea. Chronic diarrhea is diarrhea that reoccurs frequently over time and is caused by a food intolerance, inflammation, an infection, or another medical condition. It is stool that is consistently softer than normal and continues for several weeks, months, or even years. Whereas acute diarrhea in cats is a sudden onset of loose or watery stools that typically lasts a few days and is often caused by a temporary issue like a dietary change, stress, or a mild infection. Here's a poop chart that shows normal poop to diarrhea. You can use this chart to see how bad your cat's poop is. Chronic diarrhea in cats is caused by disease that affects the intestines or gastrointestinal system, or disease that affects another part of the body, and diarrhea occurs as a result. If your cat has chronic diarrhea along with symptoms such as vomiting, lethargy, significant weight loss, or blood in the stool, this can indicate a serious or potentially life-threatening condition. You should seek immediate veterinary attention to rule out any severe underlying diseases. Otherwise, for cats that continue to eat well, have a good weight, and have normal energy levels, I will share a few treatment options for you to try at home that will stop chronic diarrhea. Changing your cat's diet is one way you can help treat chronic diarrhea in cats. Cats are obligate carnivores, which means they rely on nutrients found only in animal protein. However, many commercial cat foods are packed with carbohydrates that feed certain gut bacteria like Reputable. These bacteria thrive in low-protein diets and can trigger inflammation, leading to diarrhea or inflammatory bowel disease over time. Therefore, switching your cat to a high-protein, low-carb diet can help treat their diarrhea. Your cat may also have food allergies, which can be triggered by preservatives, artificial coloring, flavor additives, or even certain meat proteins. Many commercial wet and dry foods contain these artificial ingredients, which can irritate the digestive system over time and cause your cat to have diarrhea. So it is best to avoid these artificial ingredients. I made a video that I'll link below that goes into food ingredients in detail. For food allergies to meat proteins like chicken or beef, your vet will recommend an elimination diet to figure out which protein your cat is allergic to. Typically, they would recommend a hydrolyzed protein diet or a novel protein diet, one made with a single protein source your cat has never eaten before, such as rabbit, venison, or duck, to help identify which ingredient is causing the reaction. Personally, I'm not entirely convinced that food allergies to meat proteins like chicken or beef is usually the problem, since true meat allergies are rare even in humans, affecting less than 1% of the population. I believe it's more likely that the artificial flavorings and preservatives in processed foods are what many cats are actually reacting to. For my cat Arya, she struggled with chronic diarrhea since she was a kitten. It started when she was on wet food, and even after I transitioned her to a raw meat diet, the diarrhea only got a little better, and it never fully went away. I tried every type of meat you can think of, and spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars at the vet on different nutrition plans only to feel like I was going in circles. In the end, I realized that diet alone isn't the full solution. It's just one part of a much bigger picture. Treating chronic diarrhea takes a combination of treatments, which I'll go over next. Probiotics can help treat chronic diarrhea in cats by restoring balance to the gut microbiome. Just like humans, cats have a community of good bacteria living in their gut, known as the microbiome. A healthy microbiome keeps harmful bacteria in check, preventing infections and reducing digestive issues like gas, bloating, and diarrhea. When illness, stress, antibiotics, or a poor diet disrupts this balance, the number of good bacteria drops. Probiotics help restore this balance by replenishing the beneficial bacteria in your cat's gut. It's important to choose probiotics that contain live, active bacteria, since dead bacteria won't help restore the gut balance or treat diarrhea effectively. You can tell a probiotic has live bacteria by looking for the colony forming units, or CFU count, which indicates the number of viable microorganisms per dose. Proper storage and an up-to-date expiration date are also crucial, as the bacteria must remain alive throughout the product's shelf life. For Arya, probiotics have definitely helped. We use probiotics from Pets, and it has definitely improved her diarrhea, but it did not completely stop the diarrhea. What helped Arya with her diarrhea was a combination of taking probiotics and psyllium husk, which I will go into detail next. Fibers can help manage chronic diarrhea by helping to absorb excess water in intestines. In the wild, cats eat animal fibers like tendon, cartilage, feathers, hair, skin, and fur to help with digestion. However, animal fibers are much harder to come by in a domestic diet, so plant-based sources like pumpkin and psyllium husk can serve as effective alternatives. Pumpkin and psyllium husk are soluble fibers that form a gel-like substance that can slow down digestion and firm up loose stools. After trying both pumpkin and psyllium husk for my cat Arya, I found psyllium husk to be more effective at treating diarrhea. The reason? Psyllium husk is more effective as it has more fiber per volume than pumpkin. That means you need to give a much larger amount of pumpkin to achieve the same effect with a small amount of psyllium husk. Here is Arya's poop after eating psyllium husk. You can see that it is much more firm. When adding psyllium husk to your cat's diet, it should never be given without plenty of water, as it absorbs water and could cause intestinal blockage. I usually mix a little less than a quarter teaspoon of psyllium husk per day with water before pouring it into my cat's food. And that amount of psyllium husk has worked in stopping diarrhea for Arya. Treating chronic diarrhea in cats takes patience, consistency, and a bit of detective work. Every cat is different, so what works for one might not work for another. Some cats may require multiple types of treatments. In my case, Arya needed probiotics, fiber, and a diet change. And I was able to stop chronic diarrhea for Arya. I was so happy that I was able to solve this health issue after 4 years. And Arya hasn't had chronic diarrhea since. Hopefully this video provided tips that will stop chronic diarrhea in your cat. If you've gone through this with your own cat and found something that helped, I would love for you to share it in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what another cat parent needs to hear to help their kitty feel better.